Welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we got a pretty packed podcast here. We've got Helldivers Expansion Pack. We got Jason revealed and released for MKX. Yoshimitsu coming to Tekken 7. Persona 5. Persona 5 release date kind of confirmed. Dishonored and Gears getting a rumor for a remaster. New game from Koji Igarashi, Bloodstained, and Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So let's start with what we've been playing this week, Fawaz. I've got a couple games that you probably didn't think I would have played. Not Bloodborne. I didn't play Bloodborne. I swear, I didn't play Bloodborne. I played Blacklight Retribution.
Blacklight Retribution?
Yeah. Which is a free-to-play shooter on the PlayStation 4. My friend said, give it a shot. It's a free-to-play game. Why not, right?
Yeah.
It's free-to-play, and I wanted to try something different on my PS4. And then I realized, you know what? Very few free-to-play games I feel are any good. Like, Hearthstone is a good example of a free-to-play game. League of Legends is a good example of a free-to-play game. But the reason why they all kind of work is because I feel like there's when you unlock stuff, you keep it. And it's relatively easy to unlock stuff. Unfortunately, with Retribution, the system that they have is that you gain in-game currency, which is like GP or whatever, and you use it to unlock guns, but for a limited time. Like, it's like old guns or like trials.
Wow.
So you get like, all right, I'm going to unlock the shotgun for a day. So you get to use it for that day, and then tomorrow you have to unlock it again with GP. I mean, it's a little bit ridiculous, and it was an interesting shooter. The interesting mechanic was there was no actual map. Like, there's no map on the HUD.
Okay.
How it works is that you have a button that allows you to see through walls, and it allows you to see where your teammates and your enemies are.
Okay.
But it only lasts for a couple seconds. So there's some interesting mechanics in it, but honestly... it was all right. Nothing I would write home about.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I played this week. But yeah, what you been up to, Fawaz?
I played Magica, actually.
Ah.
Yeah, so what happened was they had this little thing between the 5th of May and the 10th, between the 5th and the 10th, where if you pre-ordered Magica, you could play it for those days. So they had the prologue, the tutorial was available, the first chapter was available, and they had a challenge mode where you go through 20 waves and stuff.
Yeah.
Me and my friend played it, and the game is a lot of fun. The demo was a lot of fun. There was a lot of depth. So like you've got your 8 spells,
mm-hmm. and
depending on how you mix them, the interactions can be hilarious. They can be deadly. They can be hilarious. Some spells can't be mixed. Every spell has one spell that cancels it out, that doesn't mix with. Fire and frost, electricity and water.
Yeah.
And the one issue I had was that you can create shields.
Mm-hmm.
But the shields weren't very good. They didn't last for very long.
And
in the original Magica, you could do this thing where when you casted a shield, you could hold the button down and you could charge the shield up to make it last.
Right.
You can't do that in this, so that kind of sucked. But overall, it was a lot of fun. I pre-ordered the game, so I'm anxiously waiting for the full game to come out. I hope they tweak some things.
Mm-hmm.
And because you could unlock stuff in the demo,
mm-hmm.
I hope the stuff I unlocked carries over to the full game.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game.
And that was made from some of the people that made Helldivers.
Yes.
So...
Oh, okay. Actually, it wasn't. The original game was. The new one isn't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But what you're describing is like I'm just thinking, there's gonna be a lot of team killing.
Yes.
A lot of team killing.
Yes, I killed. I mean, you were in the party when I killed my teammate like 3 or 4 times in the span of a minute. So
that was pretty funny. But speaking of Helldivers, Helldivers got an expansion pack released recently. With some new enemy types, some objectives, and some other cool, neat things. But yeah, definitely interesting. Definitely really, really cool. But what are your thoughts on it so far?
it's weird because they released a trailer on Monday. Just detailing the new planets, because there's a new planet type. It's a volcanic planet, and it's got these little volcanoes that spit out lava, and they do damage to you and set you on fire.
Yeah.
And then I just logged in on Tuesday, and it's been released. I was like, what? But it's fun. It's not a whole lot though. Like it's a lot less than I thought it would be originally. Cause sure, there's 3 new objective types, but 2 of them feel like old objectives. There's this really cool new objective where you have to go to a minefield. You bring down a little minesweeper. You find the bombs and then you defuse them, right, with a little button input. However, how this differs from the old ones is that in the old one, if you messed up the button inputs, you just start it again, right? If you mess up the button input, you get blown ups.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so I can imagine there's gonna be some hilarious situations where you're trying to get the input because the enemies are on your ass, and then you blow, and it has a small area of effect. So if your teammate is next to you, the 2 of you get blown up.
Yeah.
But they released that. They added some new trophies. They increased the level cap from 25 to 27. Added a new costume. Added a new perk, and all of this is free. So I give them credit for that. Along with that, they added they added some DLC, so you can buy some new weapons and some new costumes and stuff. However, one thing that I give them a lot of credit for is that the new trophies, every single one of them can be obtained without buying the DLC. So yeah, I definitely give them props, and I'm probably gonna buy the DLC just because of that reason. But yeah.
Yeah, about that trophy thing, that could be really annoying because there's some games where it's like there's no way you can like platinum the game unless you buy the DLC.
Okay. How it works though is that you can get the platinum without buying the DLC because the original trophies are all tied to the original game. However, you can't get 100% without buying the DLC.
And that some people, it's like, oh, I gotta get that 100%, or it's like not worth it.
Yeah, it does kind of suck.
But yeah, no, I like I said, I love free DLC, and I still think this is a great way to keep people coming back because I'm definitely gonna come back and I'm gonna give this another whirl.
Yeah.
I mean, like I still think it's a really fun game, and it's really good to play with friends. Like
it is so much fun to play with friends.
It's probably one of the better games out at the moment. But moving on from that, Jason got released for MKX.
Yes.
The goalie mask man himself.
Yeah. So he got released last week, I believe.
Yes.
He's interesting. He's got a lot of armored moves.
Yeah.
So it definitely gives off that horror movie vibe.
Yeah.
Because he's just you're like shooting projectiles at him and he's just walking
and nothing happens.
He's walking right through them, and he's a very, very interesting character. I give them credit. They because when he was announced, he felt like a gimmick.
Yeah.
But after watching gameplay of him, I'm like, they did a good job. He looks and feels like Jason.
Yeah.
Like how Jason would play if he was in a fighting game. I'm probably not going to buy him.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But yeah, I give them credit for it. But how do you feel about him?
I mean, I feel like he's okay. Like, I mean, to be honest, like, I saw the gameplay, and from what people have told me, the problem is that he feels a little bit like just a kind of generic sometimes. A little bit.
Okay.
Like, he's got basic brawling moves.
Okay.
But as far as DLC characters go, like, he looks okay. I mean, definitely better than I thought he was gonna be. Yeah. For sure. But honestly, if I was ever to get a DLC character, I'm gonna get Predator. Because fuck Jason, I want fucking Predator.
Yeah.
And I feel Predator is gonna be a lot cooler. Actually, the one thing I was disappointed is that I wanted his really dumb costume from Jason X.
Oh my god! Thank God that shit isn't in the game.
Damn it! I really wanted it though.
Hey, they might add it.
They might add it. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. Who knows?
Maybe you will get lucky.
Yeah. But continuing with fighting game news,
Yoshimitsu
is coming to Tekken 7. Thanks for the save, Fawaz. Fuck am I bad at pronouncing Japanese names.
Yeah, he's coming to Tekken 7 this week, if I'm not mistaken, and in Japan, obviously.
Yeah. Clearly.
Yeah, but because the thing with Yoshimitsu is in every version, ever since Tekken 3, every version from Tekken 3, Yoshimitsu has looked completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the director, they were like that. It's their thing. They go out of their way to make him look completely different in every version. So this new version looks like it's. Well,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not gonna make that reference. He's got very long tentacles. He looks like a squid.
I see what you tried to stop yourself from doing, and I think we're all thankful for it.
Yeah, he looks like a giant squid. So
Yeah.
it's cool. It's interesting. Gameplay wise, he looks like the same old Yoshimitsu. Nothing new here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Tekken 7 cast is rounding out pretty well, and definitely looking forward to that coming stateside.
A good solid squid helps round out the full cast. It's not a Japanese game until there's some sort of squid monster,
This is true. Although Persona didn't have any squid monster.
No, Persona just had a penis monster instead.
There was a penis monster in Persona?
Yeah, let's not get into that. That's a whole other discussion. But there was a shitting devil Persona in that game as well. Persona 4 was weird. But speaking of Persona, they just there's been a rumored kind of release date. Basically, it's the fourth quarter, October to December is when you can expect Persona 5 to come out. I'm excited, and there's a lot of rumors going around that it's going to be like both versions are probably going to be out.
Yeah, Japan.
Think of like Pokemon X and Y, how it's like everyone got the same version at the exact same time. Like it's going to be something similar with Persona 5. And I'm excited for that.
Apparently, Persona is really popular in the States, which is one of the reasons why they're trying to release it at the same time here. Yeah. I had no idea. I love Persona, but I thought it was like a niche title. I had no idea it was really popular.
It's one of I was surprised too. Apparently, it's one of those more popular RPGs in general. Like it's just a bitter, because I think the reason is it's a very story-based game.
Yeah.
So it's like even people, I think it's even people that aren't necessarily good RPG players or good like gamers in general, they can just proc the difficulty a little bit lower and just enjoy the story.
Yeah.
And I feel like that allows people to come in that maybe like for example, my sister really likes Persona, and she's not a huge gamer, but she loves the story, right?
Okay.
So I think it attracts a lot more people, whereas like something like Dark Souls or Bloodborne, it's like not a whole lot of non-gamers are going to be able to get right into it.
Yeah, especially since there isn't much of a story.
Yeah, and plus the game is hard as hell. Unless you're playing with Alex and he's just like beasting through the level like in our quick look, which you should check out when you get a chance. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for Persona 5, and I'm just glad that it's definitely coming out this year. And I really do hope that they don't show too much. You know what I mean, trailer-wise? And I like the fact that we haven't seen much.
This is true.
And they haven't even shown off much of the dialogue yet. Because here's the thing, like, the story is so important for Persona. It's so important, and if they reveal too much, then it could ruin the entire game.
This is true.
Because I went to Persona 3 and Persona 4, like, blind. Like, completely blind, and it blew my mind at the time. So, I'm going to stop myself from just getting too hyped for Persona 5, but definitely excited that we have an estimated release date. But moving on from that, speaking of more rumors, we're getting some more less great rumors. Dishonored, Gears of War, or Gears, are getting a remaster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so oh god, what was it? Some websites I showed like listings for Dishonored and a Gears of War remaster.
Yeah. And
with Final Fantasy X HD remaster being re-released again on the PS4 this week. So I was just wondering, Tanner, do you think that the remasters are kind of getting out of hand?
Oh no, not at all. Of course they are. God damn it! Like this is, like literally they had Dishonored on PlayStation Plus 2 months ago.
Last month.
Okay,
actually.
last month ago. You know what I mean. My mind and time do not match up very well. But it's like, literally, people have already picked up this game with PlayStation Plus, and now they're possibly working on a remastered, like, for the PS4, like, literally after people have already probably picked up their copy from PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, with Gears, okay, that kind of makes a little more sense. Like, Gears is actually starting to be a little bit relatively old. It's not like the oldest series, but maybe getting
it's
a
actually 9 years since the first Gears.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's right.
Whoa.
So, yeah. Whoa, God, am I old? but that makes more sense. Like, especially Gears 1.
Yeah.
Like, a remaster of that. Honestly, I still think Gears 2 is the best out of all of them. I would actually replay Gears 2, like a remastered version of that. As much as I'm not happy that they're making remastered versions, it's like I'm not it's like ugh.
So let me get this straight, Tanner.
Yeah.
Death to all the remasters except the remasters of games that I want.
Exactly. You nailed it. But it's okay. Here's the deal. It's like I feel like the problem is like I said, I feel like a broken record, really.
Yeah.
It's just the reason why I'm against remasters is that yes, it's great for people who haven't played the games, but I want to see new IPs. I want to see new ideas. Because the video game industry should be creative.
Yeah,
like,
this
you
is
know,
true.
this is the promise, is that I don't want this to slowly turn into the movie industry in which it's just making remakes.
Yeah.
Because we can't come up with new ideas.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
So, yeah, that's my basic take on it at the moment. But what are your thoughts?
I'm actually a little less negative in regard to remasters because of one very key thing, and that's that the Xbox One and the PS4 aren't backwards compatible.
Okay, yes. That is a good point.
Yeah, so, and okay, the way I see it, and this is for now, you know, this could change in time, but the way I see it right now, the remasters, they don't take up a lot of resources. Like, the companies can make the remasters while they're working on other things, right? I mean, they don't require a big team to make a remaster. So, and then the remaster, it gives us something to play, because I mean, these are the dog days, you know, the first 2 years of a console generation, there's barely anything to play.
Yeah.
So it gives some of us, I mean, unfortunately, I've already played both of these games.
Yeah.
So if the Dishonored remaster is true, I won't be buying it.
Yeah.
But like the Devil May Cry 4 remaster, I never played Devil May Cry 4. I'm picking that up, and then it's only $25. You know, that's another thing, is that if they price them right,
yes.
I don't see anything wrong with them. You know, it gives you something to play while you're waiting for the for the Persona 5 and the Fallout 4s and all that stuff.
all that stuff.
But you know, it fills out this dead period, this summer. Yeah. So I don't mind them as much. I do think what I don't like, however, is when it is just like the God of War remaster is garbage. It's just God of War.
It's only going to be like one game. It's God of War 3.
Yeah, it's just God of War 3 HD. Not even 3 and Ascension. It's just God of War 3 in slightly better graphics. Okay, you know what? There might be more. We don't know enough about it yet.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's just God of War 3. I don't even know if it's going to have all the DLC. It might and it might not. But something like the Devil May Cry 4 one, I think that's a very good way to handle remasters.
Yeah. And I think the problem I have is, like, I do agree with you, is that, yes, this is a good way to kind of work around the backwards compatibility thing, because it's like, now we can't, like no one wants to really sell their games. Like, you know, some people are like, oh, fuck it, I'm done with this game, I don't need to play it again. But for people like me, it's like, there's memories in those games. I can't just sell my copy of Jak 2, which I haven't touched in 10 years. I'm not using it, but I like the fact that it's there.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
And there's definitely like this whole idea where it's like, yes, it is making the libraries for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One a little bit better, because it means that there's technically more games, even though they're games that you kind of already have. And it's overall, I guess it could be a whole lot worse. It could be worse. But it does depend on how pricey they are, because it's like, I'm not gonna buy a game I've already bought for $60.
Yeah.
But for example, like something like the Devil May Cry collection, like HD, that's $20 to $25.
Yes.
That's fair, because that's an older game, and yeah, you're buying it again, but at least you're not paying $60 for it again.
Exactly.
So it could always be worse.
It could always be worse.
Yeah. But let's move on to some more positive news. A new game from Koji Igarashi, Bloodstain, revealed for Kickstarter, or it was a Kickstarter.
Yeah, they started the Kickstarter. So for the people that don't know, Koji Igarashi is he's pretty much the mastermind behind Castlevania.
Yeah.
He was the director behind Symphony of the Night, which is considered by most people to be one of the greatest video games of all time.
It's a really good game. It's good.
So he got tired of Konami's bullshit, and he left last year.
Yeah.
And we hadn't heard from him until now. So this is apparently what he's been working on. It's a really cool looking game. There's only concept art right now. There's literally no there aren't even screenshots of the game. But from what we've heard, it sounds really cool. It's pretty much gonna be Castlevania, but with a female protagonist. She's got this crystal disease that's eating away at her skin or something like that. Yeah. So
cool concept.
Cool concept. And there's gonna be a crafting system, so you can upgrade your weapons and stuff like that. And overall, it looks really cool. One thing though is that the Kickstarter video is hilarious. Have you seen it?
Not yet.
Yeah, it's so funny. He's in this dark castle, and he's just walking around sipping wine and stuff. And then he walks up to this one person that's tied to a rack, and he's torturing the guy while he's asking us to give him his money. And I'm like, this is it's pretty funny.
That'd be funnier if it's he's torturing Konami. This is for all your sins.
Don't even get me started on Konami.
But the thing that I want to point out is that this is a really interesting trend that it seems like all these different peoples, like the guy who made Mega Man, spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. Now we've got the creator of Castlevania going off to do his own thing. It's like all these game creators fuck this, I want to make my own games.
Yeah.
And they're going on with these new ideas, and they're becoming really, really successful on Kickstarter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this Kickstarter was announced on Monday, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was on Monday, and he's already hit his stretch goal was 500,000. It's at the last time I checked, it was at $1 million.
Yeah,
that's in 3 days. He had $1 million pledged to him. So it's obviously a very successful route. He stated himself that it was Keiji Inafune, the Mega Man dude.
Yeah.
The success of his Kickstarter was what inspired him
to try and do
his own thing. So I'm pretty sure in a couple of months we're gonna see some shitty Kickstarters come up because but in general this is definitely a very, very good trend. This is one trend that I can agree with.
Here's the thing though. When you're doing Kickstarter, if you're gonna pledge money to Kickstarter, you gotta do your research. That's the biggest thing. And the reason why this works is that you can see that, all right, these are people that have actually made games.
Yeah.
I've seen their resume.
Exactly.
So there's a little more trust that you can put into it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas some other games on Kickstarter, they might have a really good concept for a game, but they don't have the resources or the brain power to actually execute it.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest failing with Kickstarters, especially, is that there's a lot of people that have great ideas. They might have the coolest, greatest ideas for video games, but there's no way that they can execute them.
Yeah.
But this shows a little bit more promise, showing actual people that have been in the development industry for a while, and it's they have experience.
Yeah.
So this makes a lot more sense to pledge money to them. But I kind of do like this trend because it's wow, we're getting the games that publishers won't let us have.
Exactly. So we're no longer at the mercy of the Activisions and the EAs. I mean, sure, bigger titles.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get a Morrowind type game on Kickstarter, at least not yet.
Yeah.
But hopefully in time we can do that, and then we won't just be at the mercy of the bigger publishers. $20 says that Hideo Kojima is going to be on Kickstarter in about a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that, but he might want more money. I don't know. But yeah, for sure. First off,
big ass publisher.
Yeah, I want to talk about this. Okay, so we've talked a bit about Konami, being a little bit of a douchebag of late. So like they fired Kojima. They started removing his name from games, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I still think that's ridiculous. They canceled officially Silent Hills. And recently there has been a development in how all this might have come to be. So basically, there's a guy who had some kind of insider knowledge. I don't know the guy's name, but it was a YouTube video he posted. But he had inside knowledge about what possibly might have been happening with Konami. And what was possibly happening was that they were restructuring their entire development company to become a mobile game development. So instead of big game budget, they wanted to downsize and restructure their company so that they can pull all their money into mobile games, because that's apparently the direction that they want to go. And this obviously didn't sit well with a lot of the people that were currently working at the company, working on big budget games like console games. And essentially what ended up happening is that apparently there were situations where they were making very poor work environments for employees, so that they wouldn't have to fire them. They would just leave on their own.
Okay.
So that they wouldn't get the bad rap of Konami's just firing everybody. And so this video came out, and I was posting some possible ideas and some possible information of what actually happened with Konami and what they actually did. And literally a couple days later, Konami comes by and rips the video off for copyright. So pretty much almost guarantees that what he was saying was pretty much the truth.
Yeah.
And it's it's becoming the point where we're like, wow, Konami, really? This guy has the balls to actually say something accurately say something that's actually happening to your company that you won't say. You are forcibly not saying it because you want to try and tell yourself, but I'm the good guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the most scummiest thing in the world. And I have now full on fuck Konami. Just screw them. Literally, maybe they may have one good game with Metal Gear Solid 5. Sure, that might be their last good game. But literally, the publisher is just, just disgusted.
Yeah, I mean, Koji Igarashi, because he left last year, and he's not as big of a name as Hideo Kojima, so it didn't make the news. The news wasn't that big, but he was he said in one of the interviews when he was talking about this new game that he just did not like the direction that the company was going. They weren't interested in making this making a new Castlevania type game with him. So he was like, "I deuces, I'm out."
Yeah.
And this is, you see, for me, I don't really care that much because I can't remember the last Konami game I bought. So for me, Konami has been dead for a very long time.
Yeah. The thing that pisses me off the most is that there are good Konami games that have been with them, like Metal Gear Solid, like Silent Hill. They have franchises. That's the problem. Yeah. Is that they had some really good franchises, and now they're just fucking everyone over.
Yeah. One thing I'm going to miss from Konami, though, if they stop making big budget games. Do you remember E3 2010, Konami's press conference?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to miss that.
I'm going to miss that.
That was one of the greatest press conferences in E3 history.
It really was.
Yeah, so that's my biggest regret in this whole thing, is we'll never get another one of those.
God damn it. I fucking remember that. Oh, that was rough. Let's talk about something a little bit more positive. Assassin's Creed Syndicate got announced.
Yep.
Trailer for it. The trailer that I saw was mostly just concept art.
Really?
Yeah, that was the one that I saw, but yeah, it's sort of Victorian era. There's machinery, trains, very Bloodborne in a weird way, that kind of.
Well, yeah, Victorian era.
Victorian era
with the top hats and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
it looked really interesting. Actually, what it reminded me of was, did you ever watch this movie Gangs of New York?
Yes, yeah. Okay.
It reminded me because I was watching the gameplay video, and like different sections of the city were controlled by gangs, right?
Oh,
so then
okay,
you had to
yeah,
go to this
yeah,
section, and your gang would take over. And at the very end of the demo, there was a big. Well, it wasn't very big. It was actually kind of disappointing now that I think about it. But there was this gang war, quote unquote, because it was like 12 people. But the scene reminded me very much of Gangs of New York. But overall, it looked interesting. They've given him because it's funny because I'm watching the demo and I see how big the buildings are, and I'm like, wow, climbing those are gonna be tedious now. And then it's like, well, he has a grappling hook now.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good.
So I was like, that's smart. That's smart of them, and you can steal stage coaches now. So it's becoming more and more like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, in a weird way, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, same old Assassin's Creed. Nothing too new from the demo that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
They took out the 4-player co-op, so
yeah. So let's expect a less broken game, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But either way. By the way, the season pass. If you're interested in buying a game that you've seen barely anything.
Yeah,
for,
exactly.
The pre-order bonuses are out, and the season pass is out. So
goody.
Yeah. Good old Ubisoft.
Good old Ubisoft, always making good decisions.
Always making good decisions.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know about you, but I will be hitting pass on Assassin's Creed.
I think even though okay, kind of an interesting concept. Honestly, I got so ruined for Assassin's Creed after seeing what happened with Unity, and just Black Flag was kind of cool, and that might have maybe made me come back. But Unity just kind of reminded me this series is so hit and miss. Sometimes you get a good game. I liked Assassin's Creed 2. I liked it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
There was a lot more content in it. But honestly, it's definitely a hit and miss series, and it's almost like I don't think we need any more Assassin's Creeds.
Well, this is the issue I have with annualized series is that
Yeah.
this does happen. You have rushed development cycles. You have and then it's an annualized series that always launches at the same time every year. So it'll launch whether or not it's complete every single year. So that's why I don't buy them. I don't support these franchises. Because these franchises exist because we let them exist.
Yeah.
So I vote with my wallet and I tell them to go screw themselves. Yeah. But the game does look good. This is probably gonna be more Black Flag than Unity in that this one is actually going to be good, and it doesn't look like it's doing anything new.
No, but it looks like it'll be a solid title.
Yes, it looks like it will run when it'll run properly on the day that you purchase it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I've really got nothing else to say about this.
Yeah, just if you're this one, I'm gonna pass on as well. That's pretty much what I've got to say with it. But I think with that, we're gonna have to wrap it up here. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If you leave a comment in the comment section, we'll make sure to answer in the next podcast. And as always, this was William Liberty and
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf,
and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.